shame makes something happen. It's gone to the long grass again. Thank you.
Councillor Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, just 2 points I'd like to bring out of what Councillor Bell's just said. The first one is costs, finance. Madam Mayor, I find it very, very strange that a Labour councillor can talk about finance when one Labour councillor spoke about the wind turbine that's going to cost residents £300,000, and they're talking about costs. Right, so that has just gone out the window altogether, Madam Mayor.
I'm sorry,
the second point, Madam Mayor, the second point was when they're talking about the finance and stuff like that, I find it very, very strange that any Labour councillor can even think about discussing finance in such a short time like this. Yet we had the last leader rob the people blind and not one spoke out about finance. Madam Mayor, thank you very much. Is it? Is it? All right, but what was it?
Right. You were totally out of order, Councillor.
Well, that's what you think, Madam Mayor. I think different.
No, right. You're entitled.
A point of interest, Madam Mayor, can you explain to us when will this be sorted out?
I will not remind you again, Councillor. I've given all of the opposition members from all parties the opportunity to speak this evening on numerous occasions throughout the night. But I will not take disrespect to any member in this chamber or past member of this chamber. We sit here as councillors, all of us collectively, to represent the public. But disrespect is not on. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's disrespect, Madam. I mean, it's the truth.
I'm sorry. I don't wish to discuss it, Councillor. I think it's totally disrespectful to the members of the public.
Disrespectful members of the public. The public is getting robbed.
Excuse me, Councillor. I won't warn you again. Councillor Foster.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to really reiterate what I said before. Regardless how this gets resolved, I think it's something that we should just use a little bit of compromise. And I think with the CAF that I'm involved with, certainly with Councillor ERM-ers, I think it's something that hopefully our CAF will discuss amongst ourselves. And if there's a way forward, moving forward, having alternate meetings at a time. And I personally think it's very important, as the Councillor said here, about having the members there, because it's always best to hear it firsthand, taking into account the availability for the public. So really, I think it's something, though we've had a heated debate about it, something which I think compromise will win the day. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Foster. Councillor Kennedy.
Yeah, just like to point out that I think that the data used to collate the information over 3 meetings where somebody stood up and counted the number of members of the public is limited, and it needs to be put out to a broader forum. How many members of the public didn't turn up because they were either at work, had childcare issues, or whatever else? You know, you've probably got people who've given up on these things because there is a limited availability to go and see them. And I go back to the point that 194 meetings that are conducted at times in a day, and we've looked at 3 meetings out of those 194 that, granted, one of them was in the morning, one was possibly in the afternoon, and one was on the evening. It's limited data and it needs to be put out to a wider platform.
I think your points will be noted, Councillor Kennedy. Thank you.
An application to South Tyneside Council for a commemorative plaque, known as the Blue Plaque, to be installed adjacent to St Clair's Hospice buildings has been made. The formal commemorative plaque scheme raises up to 3 plaques per year. We would like an assurance that the request made on the 11th of June is to be fully considered as the process sets out, given that we believe that the criterion has not only been met, but exceeded. We would like that the Council resolves to make contact with the Foundation Trust following initial support requests from members directly to its Chief Executive to hold discussions around involving our community, establishing permanent memorials to the former St Clair's Hospice and its origins. This would include a blue plaque scheme and a garden of remembrance. And Madam Mayor, if I could just add a little bit of context around that. From the very outset, certainly Jarrow Constituency Labour Party did discuss a remembrance, the ability to have some form of permanent remembrance. And it isn't just for our loved ones who have passed away, it's for their families and for anyone who has cared for our loved ones as well. So it is very much something that we'd like the community to get involved in, and it is something, it's no coincidence that this has happened at this time. But I have taken it to the Chief Executive of the Trust, and he finds it timely that those discussions begin, given now the launch of the CEDA unit at Haven Court. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kilgour. Councillor Robertson, do you want to respond to the amendment?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the back of that, what's just been said, you know, it is really nice, although it's 4 years down the road, it is really nice to see this chamber do what I asked them to do 3 years ago, come together, relating to St. Clair's. So, brilliant what's happening, contacting the Foundation Trust, etc. At this moment in time, we've got an application into the council to have St. Clair's building and land registered as a community asset. Yeah.
Sorry, Councillor, that's not for discussion. What we're discussing here is the blue plaque.
Yeah,
so
I understand that, but I'm saying about where we're going with it, the blue plaque, then the community asset transfer is into the council as we speak, and the decision comes within 8 weeks, and ultimately we'll apply for a community asset transfer, because the NHS, the Foundation Trust, need to get the message they're not going to demolish St. Clair's building. It's not happening, and we need to all let them know that. Thank you, Lady Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Robertson. Councillor Francis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yeah, what a surprising and positive way to close the meeting tonight. I know sometimes in this chamber we agree to disagree. Sometimes we disagree to disagree as well. But you know, I think this is a good example. The last line of the amended text, this would include the blue plaque, and the Garden of Remembrance. You know, there's no need for compromise there. It's a proper win-win, and I think that should be applauded. So fully support the amendment. Close the meeting tonight.
You've already replied to the debate, Councillor Robertson. I'm pleased about that, Councillor Robertson. Good. Councillor Atkinson, you wish to speak?
It's just really for information. I'm sure Councillor Robertson will know this, that nominations are invited virtually throughout the year, and around about September are closed for a kind of matrix scoring to be applied to all of the applications. The people, there are about three or four officers involved with that scoring. Things such as historic interest, in the case of a person, someone who's made a considerable, contribution to any part of the borough, etc., etc. Now, obviously, 3 plaques are awarded a year, and very often it well exceeds that number. The scores on the doors come through, and that's when the recommendations come through to who award to. So we're not making, I just wanted to point out, we're not making the decision that St. Clair's gets a blue plaque, because it has to go in that process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Atkinson. I think every member sitting in this chamber appreciates your input, and we're well aware of that. Do we have a seconder to the amendment that Councillor Kilgour